Okay, looks like we're live from the tiny shack, the new home of ArtisanTony deep in the woods of Tennessee. And I just wanted to check. It says I have excellent connection, so we are going to test out the new interwebs from the woods. I did pay a little extra to get some underground cable. Where am I going? Right here. Underground. I put underground. I don't know, 400 or 500 feet, uh, so I could get a decent connection. I was like, me and Bigfoot are gonna have interwebs, whether anybody likes it or not. So, happy Easter, everyone. I just want to thank Jesus for what he does. Not to get too religious, but I was born in the Bible Belt, so there you go. Anyway, um, uh, I just distracted myself. What I wanted to do is show you. I noticed that Medeek, Nathan Wilkerson, Nathaniel P. Wilkerson. What is this? Get the ads off here. Was having an extension sale for SketchUp. Okay, and I got this email. Where is it? Here it is. See, in an effort to get as many customers up to date using these new features, I'll offer a renewal promotion for all the plugins for 30 days, April 11th through April 11th through May 15th. And you can see here's the normal pricing, and here is the new or the sale price. Now I do have a deal with Nathan to. He gives me a license for these because I asked him to. He didn't approach me. These tools are so useful that I requested this. So I appreciate Nathan and what he does for my channel. But honestly, and that's the thing. He's doing more for me than I'm doing for him. So I try to pay him back every now and then by showing everyday uses, and that's what these are. This is real life usage. Okay, so this is a customer out in Arizona. I don't know if you go look at. I'll do just a little bit of bragging here, just a little bit. If you go to atdrafting.com and you look at our projects, you will see that we've done many projects, and I'm getting ready to add one in Guatemala. Can't wait. This is going to be a cool one. It's going to be like a stucco Guatemala house. And so this one is out here in Arizona. And you're saying, what difference does that make? Well, it doesn't, but it does for me as a design build contractor, because the earth is different, the soil is different, even though it's flat. Just kidding, flat earth joke. Even though the earth the earth is different, and the ground is different. You've got sandy, loamy soils, so what we have to do is try to take that into consideration. And this actually, I know what you're saying, well, that's an ugly house. Well, it's an existing, this part is an existing house. It's actually was used as a commercial, I think it was originally built as a commercial building because of the way it's laid out. And I put a lot of time into, let's see, floor plan, new construction. So that's that. Let's see, floor plan. Do I not have one that shows the existing? Anyway, I've got this whole plan laid out here. What is this? That's not a good idea. whereas I haven't set up all my views yet. Slab detail, slab replacement. I bet it's turned on. Here we go. This is a drawing, this is the as-built drawing of the existing building. And this is where he had to go in, and again, this is an existing building, so this concrete slab was all deteriorated. So we had to do a drawing out there in Arizona. Apparently they are, their building inspectors are anal, so you have to do a drawing showing them how you're going to, reinforce a slab, and you literally could park, Abrams tanks on this thing, even though there's no load on this slab. Anyway, I didn't want to get off into the woods too much, but just to show that this part is an existing home, or it's going to be a home. I think it was used as commercial. And so let's get back to where we can work on this. I was trying to set up my elevations, and that's what that was. And so what I thought I would do is demonstrate a few things. Let's see if we have any comments. I do want to keep up with the comments today, so we don't have any yet. That's cool. I know it's early. It's only 8:58. Maybe some people are getting ready to go to church for Easter Sunday, and I understand that. I mainly just wanted to make this video for future purposes. Well, for the sale, I'm trying to get a good example of things, and I guess I better get into that because people are going to say, well, that's boring. So what I normally do when I'm working with a customer is first I will do a two-dimensional floor plan, because two-dimensional floor plans will always be in existence, whether we have 3D or metaverse, or where is it, floor plan and construction. In construction, we will always revert back to the old-timey two-dimensional floor plan because it relays it relays more information in the shortest amount of time than any other method, and that's why we still use it, right? Because as a contractor, when you start to gain experience, you will be able to look at a two-dimensional floor plan and see it in 3D in your head, okay? And so you see these different layers, like here in the kitchen. Even though I've got a refrigerator and a dishwasher, I also have a dashed line indicating wall cabinets, right? So I can see this. I've built this so many times. I can see this in 3 dimensions in my head, okay? Now, if I had that, and I'm not sure I even have it in 3 dimensions yet. Do I? Let me turn off the roof and we'll see. And I hope the air conditioner's not too loud. Now, I haven't done it in 3 dimensions yet. But what I was going to say is, if, depending on what view you're looking at in 3D, that vertical information sometimes blocks the, other information, you see. So a two-dimensional plan will always be the thing. And I don't know why I need to quit going off on tangents, because I won't be able to get anything done if I keep doing that. So what I'll do is I start off with that two-dimensional floor plan, and you can see here we've got the garage doors and the walkout doors, and I used to call them man doors, but with political correctness we can't do that anymore. Ha ha ha, joke. They are people doors. Well, I've always called them walkout doors. I don't know why people in commercial work they always called them man door. I don't know. Architects call them man doors. I don't know. They were never politically correct. But anyway, we'll try to keep it light this morning. Let's see. So then after the two-dimensional floor plan is done, I come and do this, what I call schematic mode, which is just, using the typical, function of SketchUp, where you can, draw that and then raise it for a wall, and then, poke a hole in it for, a door or whatever, like that, So I'll do this, until the customer is happy, right? And then 1, 2, 3. Just delete that. Okay, delete. Erase. That's weird. I usually hit the delete button. I'm not used to looking for the word erase. Erase, cut, obliterate. So I'll do this, and I'll show it to the customer in 3 dimensions. And I've already deleted the roof because I was going to get rid of it. And then what I will do is put that schematic stuff in its own layer. You can see here's my sort of my layer convention I came up with. If I can get them all collapsed. Oh, I see what happened. Some of these layers, some of these tags got out. Well, I just created. And this is actually why I do this, because floor sheeting, that should go in floor. Wall. So what I've done is create a structure, a file structure. In I believe it was SketchUp 2021. They introduced folders. It may have been just 2021. I think late 2021. They introduced this folder, like basically like a file management system inside the tags. So what I did was I came up with my own little scheme. I've just had site, then foundation, floor. And I added one here: floor, new construction, and then wall, and then roof. And so what that allows you to do is to turn off. I can turn off all the walls at once, or turn off all the roof at once. And I like that new feature from SketchUp. But what I'm trying to feature today is the Medeek extension, so I should get to it. Now, but the reason I wanted to bring that up is because some people fuss about the number of layers or tags that the Medeek extensions create, but you can control that in like if you go to Medeek wall and you go to global settings, you can turn off these. You can decide which layers you want, and if you delete all these layers, it will or whichever ones you delete, it will put that object that it creates, that geometry it creates, in just untagged, just a standard default layer or tag. So the whole SketchUp changing layers to tags is annoying, but I don't think it's ever going to go back, so I better quit complaining. So anyway, there we go. So I created a wall scheme. Here it is. So what I do is I create these, quickie walls. They're easy to draw because I just draw over the floor plan and the two-dimensional floor plan, and then I can go in here now, and since the customer says, "Oh, that's cool," I can turn those off, and I can go and get my Medeek wall extension, and I'll just check right quick. I think I have an exterior. Oh, I haven't loaded. I updated the thing, and I had to reinstall it because I had some trouble with SketchUp. I had to reinstall SketchUp. So what you can do here is, the wall height's going to be, let's turn that back on for a second. I forgot what my wall height's going to be. 10 feet. Okay. So let me go back, turn that off again, and we will go to the wall, Medeek wall. So this would be 109. Your wall height, let's see, 10 feet's 121. Yeah. Your wall height's always going to be like 1.1 inches taller than the nominal height. You can see here, I don't know if you can see that says for an 8-foot wall, 8 foot 1 1/8. Okay, and so then a 9-foot wall would be 9 foot 1 1/8, and a 10-foot wall is 10 foot 1 1/8. And how you get that is the reason that is because that over the years the studs say, like for an 8-foot wall, are 92 5/8. So you add 4.5 inches to that because you have an 1.5 inch bottom plate and you have 2 top plates. You get 97 1/8. Okay, that is to give you room for your floor coverings and your ceiling coverings and still have approximately 8 feet left over. So on a 10-foot wall, you would be looking at 121 1/8. And so I'm going to leave a lot of this stuff alone just to show what you can do is set parameters, and then you can save that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna upgrade this, update it, and I'm gonna save. I want to say 10-foot exterior wall. Okay, and then I'm going to save wall preset, and I'm going to load it. Load. Okay, I don't know if you noticed that loaded that. So I'm going to go now. I can go down and change any of these other parameters, and I think I'm looking good. Oh, here we go. The other thing I wanted to show you is the way you can set the exterior of the wall. But it's funny, I created this stucco plaster one. I'm going to show you that in just a second, how you can do that. But let me get all this other stuff. I don't want any trim on the outside because it's stucco. So what we have to do is go right here and say no. Update that and save wall preset. Yeah. So as I draw this, why is it going away? Load. Okay, I want to draw over this. And let me hit the Alt button. Okay, one thing that Nathan did and he did this for me, part of it, was that I have always asked for an offset. Is my Alt button working? Alt. There we go. I asked for a 1/2 inch offset because the way we build this, and build this way, and I'm pretty sure that most contractors do. I put the sheeting flush with the house line. I don't want the wall sheeting hanging over because it's a path for termites and bugs and everything to come up into your house. You want your sheeting, in this case it's the concrete slab. You want your wall sheeting flush with the slab. Okay, that way when you're siding your Tyvek, your siding system comes down. In this case it's a stucco. It will come down and make a nice junction. It'll hang down past the slab a little bit, and excuse me, and everything will be copacetic. So what we're going to do is come, and it also helps you place the wall in the right position. Okay, now for some reason the wall framing's not turned on, but I'm going to go. That's funny. Oops. I want to take this all the way around, and I can see I need to extend. You know what? I'm going to fix that. I just noticed, well, first of all, let me close this, and it looks like I've got some of the wall framing turned off for some reason. There we go. Now that's, that's kind of a handy feature, because sometimes like when you're trying to do elevations on your drawings, the framing will bleed through and you can see it. So maybe I was setting that up. I had that set up for the elevations, but and also have the sheeting turned off for some reason. There we go, the OSB. So now you can see. Now if we go down here, you can see this is what you want. You want your sheathing flush with the slab, and your stucco is going to hang down. That's what we're going to do now. Let's see if I have any comments. Not yet. It's early. We're going to I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this wall and I'm going to edit it. This is the other thing that's kind of cool. You can edit this, and if you go down to your material, let's see, cladding, vertical offset, top, bottom. I'm going to give this a 1 inch. That should push it down. There we go. Yeah. That'll make the stucco hang down, because you want that water to come down and drip off past. And the stucco guys have a termination. It's like a J. It's almost like a J mold for stucco. It'll come up here, lap down, and come back up, and that's what terminates the stucco. Okay. So now I'm going to go get my wall, and I'm going to load a 10-foot wall that I created, and I'm going to fix that right here, so it will be that way from now on. I'm going to update that, and I'm going to save. So that should fix that, and then I'm going to load it. Oops. Put this here, load it back. I probably don't have to do that, but I'm just doing it out of caution. So now when I'm picking a point, you always want to pick the corner. Okay? So I'm going to go down here, and I'm also going to check to see that I've got that offset. So how you select your offset is you hit the Alt button. Okay? And for some reason you're going to move your mouse. It may just be my computer. If you don't see it happen, move your mouse a little bit and you'll see it. Okay? So now I'm going to select that corner. But you can see why it's handy to have that feature built in, because we don't draw on the two-dimensional plan. We just show the wall as like one mass. We don't show all the components. I keep forgetting to. I keep thinking that it used to be that these walls would just keep going, and it may be that I'm changing my view, and that's why it's doing that. But I want to make sure. There we go. Yeah, it used to. Maybe the wall that I created, but it used to that you could just keep going. You didn't have to keep selecting the points. Okay, and you want to go all the way to the corner, because that makes your top plates. That tells where it needs to. Yeah, I was a little confused there for a second because the corner looked funny. So there you go. That's the exterior walls. Now, the cool thing about this is, first of all, if you've used SketchUp before, you're going to say, Tony, how did you get that? And where is that coming from? I'll have to fix that. But let's see, just right quick. I'm just too curious here. Cladding, vertical, offset. Let's see, stucco, miter. Miter flush, update. Flush miter. It should be sticking over like that. I have a feeling that it's got to do with this. Nope. That's my vertical offset. 1. So horizontal offset. -1. No, now I'm just playing. I need to quit. I need to find out why that is sticking so far past. Let's see what it's doing down here. And I created this material, so it's not. This is not a Medeek thing. This is a Tony weirdo thing. So there's an example of how, like, you get at a certain distance, and this is not a Medeek thing. This is a computer SketchUp thing. You see how the studs are bleeding through? Sometimes that will show up in your drawings depending on how far away you are, what kind of scale you are, or and how the camera's positioned. So what I do is I take that layer, when I do my views, I turn it off. Okay, but for now I like seeing the studs. So now to create that texture, what you can do, and this is pretty cool, because I used to do this manually before I found this out, and I was kind of mad at myself. I'm getting ready to sneeze. Why, I don't know. Oh, maybe it's because it's springtime in Tennessee. We need to get the bees busy so they can collect all the pollen. Let's see. You go down to global settings. Well, first of all, what you do, you can go to this is a trick I learned a long time ago. You can go to 3D Warehouse, and you can type in like the material you want. So I typed in stucco, and I found this one. Right. So it looks like I've already got it, and I do. It's right here. So I brought it into my drawing. Okay, I just plastered it. I just pasted it there. And then what I did was I went into Medeek wall, global settings, and you can go to materials, okay? And you can add, down here, you can add a material. And what you do is you go to, you want to make it a, let's see, color, let's see, texture, yeah, and then you would choose a file. Let's see, timeout. What I meant to do is say import material. I was trying to figure out why that happened. And then what you'll find is if you'll scroll, you'll see all of Medeek stuff in here, but you'll also see the thing that you just pasted in your drawing, which is, in this case, it's seamless white. They put a really long thing on there. Well, I just named it stucco plaster. Okay, I'm not going to do it again, but what you do is you select that, and you say OK. Material, yeah, okay. I'm not going to create it again, but anyway, that's how you select it, okay? Or that's how you create the new material. And you can see right here, stucco plaster. It'll even give you a little thumbnail of it, okay? So now, when you go into your walls, you can go down to your wall cladding and select it right here. It'll be in the list. Okay. Then you can create a whole, fix all these parameters the way you like them, and then you can save. See, now I can load that wall and use it anywhere I want to. Okay. So that's how you get your own texture on there. And I'm going to play around with this. I don't know why this is extending past the corner. It looks like the wall needs to be for some reason I need to talk to them, and I've had this happen before. For some reason, when I pick the corner, it's offsetting everything, but it's not, but it's making these walls too long. So let me go down here. See, this wall is correct. right? So let me undo this. Now let me go back to here. That means what it's doing is, that means what I should be doing is selecting, when I do the sidewalls, I should pick the point from here. So let's do that. Wall, and this is what's cool about the extension. You can just, once you save your wall, you can just go and replace it really easily. I'm just going to make sure I'm setting back a ½ inch. And I'm just hitting Alt, toggling the Alt button, the Alt key. So I'm going to select it 7/16 shorter, and that's what it is. You see now, so my points, when I select my points, I need to select them back here. But I need to ask him about that, because that means that I would have to select it here and then go wall. That means I'd have to do it here, because if I'm offsetting it, which I want, yeah. So now I can go to here. I have a feeling that this is me doing. This is me doing. So I could probably select it here. But see, let's try that. Let's try that normal offset distance. If I just do it from there to there. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, cool. But see now, since the wall length is the right length, now you get a neat corner. Just a very correct corner. So that is cool. And that should be hanging down an inch past my slab. Yeah. Okay, so now we got our walls up. And, oh, by the way, he also has this foundation which I can replace the slab with. And I'll do that in a minute. I just wanted to get these windows and doors in there. See if we have any comments. Hello, UF Storian, Majestic, O'Clearance. Happy Easter. Can't type this morning. Happy Easter to all. So now I'm going to do the fun part. One fun part. It's all fun to me, but I really like the doors. And I hope my air conditioning system in my tiny shack's not too loud. It just popped off. Let me know if you can hear it whenever it comes on and off. That's going to be annoying, because if you can, I'll start turning it off whenever I do these live streams. So I'm going to go to, let's do the garage doors. And this is the doors and windows function of this Medeek extension is really one of the most powerful things. I think I made these. Yeah, these are 10-foot doors. Okay, but I need to make it garage door height. I need to make it 8 foot tall, so that's 96. And I think in Arizona they require 2 king studs, and then we'll obviously have to have two jacks. We call them jacks. They're calling them trimmers. And let's update that. And let's see. Oh, our this might be right here. 2 inch and 3/4 by 9 1/4. I think it's going to have to be. We're going to use 11 7/8. Two. Where'd it go? This is the other cool thing is he's got all these kind of different header options. We're going to have 2 inch and 3/4 by 11 7/8. And the main reason I'm doing that is because of the 18-foot door next to it. Update. And then we won't have any exterior trim because it's stucco. Install door, install casing. No, that's right. Okay, we don't need portal frames because we've got at least a 4-foot corner, which is a cool option though, because he literally shows the portal framing, and I'll show you. Maybe I'll just do one for the fun of it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the door in there. You can see I did it from the back. And I don't know what style door he'll pick, but that's just a standard kind of style door. I'm going to close that. But the thing about it is, once you get it in there and you want to change something, you can just go in and go to wall tools, edit opening. And then, if you want to change the, if you wanted to change it to all glass, or what's this glass panel? Update. Yeah, see, you do it like that. That's kind of cool. I don't think he's going to do that. They're kind of expensive. Glass, what did I have it as? I had glass flat panel. Yeah. So realistically, it's going to be something like that. It doesn't really matter. He's going to pick out whatever door he wants. So then let's do this one on this side. And the cool thing about it is he even has the tracks in here. And what that does is reminds you, you need to have about 16 inches above your rails here to the ceiling. Okay. And in a couple of cases, that's actually saved me. I had a guy, we did who had a vaulted ceiling, and the garage door was really close to the corner, and the vaulted ceiling was getting in the way of there was only like 6 inches above this track, so we had to move the door over. So that was a good feature to have those. It's real world information. It's BIM. So let's go back and put the other door, garage door. And what I should have done was saved it. See, I could have gone 96 inches and update that. I think it saved my other stuff though. Yeah, it saved my 2 king studs and 2 trimmers. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to update that again. So I'm going to put this one over here. And this is where your 2-dimensional plan comes in handy. Because I have those dashed lines showing where the door goes, I can just select the center of it. Okay. Now I'm going to change this to it's not the height I need to change. I need to change this to 18 feet. What's that? 120 something inches. 18 times 12. Oh God, 216. Is that right? 216. These are big doors. I like the 18-foot doors because they give you. Is that the center? Yep. Okay, and I'm going to bring it over here. You see, it's very intuitive because it's facing. It's facing the exterior of the wall, even though I was on 2 different sides of the wall. You see, it knew to turn it around. So there's our 2 garage doors, or 4 garage doors with the proper header. You see, and it's showing the proper framing. There are 2 king studs, 2 jacks, trimmers there, and then you'll have your. Now the cool thing about it is he's kind of got Medeek Nathan's got his own kind of 2D built into. In other words, he has it so that you can use his two-dimensional information. The only thing I don't like is how his 2D information shows it shows this line and it doesn't show texture. In architecture, when we show this new construction, when I show this, okay, this two-dimensional plan, and I show this texture, that indicates what type of wall it is. Let me get rid of that guideline. Okay, so what you'll have is a key, a schedule on your drawings that will have a little piece of this wall, and it'll say, that's a 2x6 wall, wood frame wall with studs to 16 inches on center, all that kind of stuff. And if you're just showing the wall the same way every time, you can't denote what type of wall it is. So I'll revert back to, as I said earlier, I'm still an old timer. I still use two-dimensional walls, drawn, and I use different hatches in there to denote different wall types. Wall type schedule is what it would be. Let me go back to this elevation, and it puts my layers at the right state. So let's see. Let's go back and check comments. Okay, so hopefully people will watch this later today. Medeek's extension sale's going through May 15th, so you've got some time. Now this is funny. I've got my schematic walls still there. I'm going to turn them off. And then because I was doing elevations, I had the wall framing turned off. Okay. So now I'm going to turn the wall framing, and then I had the sheeting turned off. There we go. But that's what's cool about Medeek's extensions. He puts, everything in its own tag or layer so that you can control the visibility, which is awesome. And so this wall right here is still too long. Is it still too... No, I need to... But I can edit it easy enough. Where is it? Wall length, 28 feet. Yeah, I need to ask Nathan about that. I'm going to go ahead and delete this wall. And then I'm going to come in here and put it back. Well, I see this wall's hanging over. I want my walls to be 7/16 that way. There we go. And I'm going to load my 10-foot wall. Load that. And I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to hit my Alt button to make sure that I got the offset proper. That's where I wanted. I wanted a 1/2 inch back. Or the thickness of the sheeting. Then that will go... Oh, I see what I did. I should have picked right there. Yeah, that's correct. Now you can see the corner is nice and flush now. And so is this one. So, a lot of this is user error. Not anything wrong with the extension. So, guidelines. Okay, so now I can put my walkout doors in. And then I'm going to do the roof. Let me delete this thing. Alright, so the only thing is I don't have... Let's see. Let's go to my... Sometimes the... Dang it. I need to set up a working view. Because I keep, every time I select that view, I turn off my wall framing and sheeting, and then I turn back on the schematic. So let me fix that right quick. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to make a working view. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm just going to delete I'll worry about that later. I've got all that in the same layer or tag, so it's turning off these walls too, but I'll deal with that in a minute. I'm going to get these doors in here, and what I'm going to do is, oh, here we go. I can see it right here. I'm just going to put myself a reference line. This should be 3 feet. Yes, so at 18 inches is the center of my door. Right there. So now what I can do is go get a walkout door. Okay. And these will be a door and 36 by 80. We don't want a 6 by 6 header. What we want there are 2 2x10s. And we want a built-up header. A built-up header is top and bottom. This is where you take, in a 2x6 wall, you take a 2x6 and put it on top and bottom of your header to make it like a box header. And because the wall's so wide, it gives your cripples above your header more support when they're sitting on top of the header, and it distributes the load better. So we're going to go ahead and say 2 king studs to make Arizona happy, and 2 trimmers, which is what we would do anyway. No, you would just have one on anything. Really, honestly, I'm just going to show it the way it should be shown. On a 3-foot door, you should have 1 king stud and 1 jack on each side of the door, rough opening. All right, so that's the way that should go. You can even put a custom label here for your door tops. That's handy. And oh, I know what I was going to do. I think he just wants. We're just going to show these as regular, just solid doors for now, and update that, and we'll come and put one here. Then I'll indicate I want to go over there on that wall and put one there. And what I should have done was, I'm going to undo that, and I meant to say no trim. Exterior trim no, because it's stucco. Update. But that's what's handy about this, is that yeah, it's easy to change. There we go. Now what is that? Is that sticking out? Huh. I'll go back and fix that later, because that's a parameter I'm going to have to go in here and do. But for now, I'm just trying to demonstrate not trying to bore everybody to death. I'm trying to demonstrate how easy it is to, do your walls, do your doors. Now we do have a window, and I know it's in the center of this. What is this? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to see if this was an easy dimension. Why is it doing that? That is bizarre. That is bizarre. I was trying to get a line going that way. Oh my god. Are you serious? Oh. I was freaking out there. So yeah, that's a weird. That's too weird. So what I'm going to do is put me a line from here to here. I know what y'all are saying. There's a much easier way to do this stuff, and there is. What in the world? I don't understand why it's. If you know SketchUp, you know what I'm talking about. I should be able to pull this. I should be able to pull a construction line just like that. But for some reason, when I snap to that, it's automatically putting it in that direction. So what we're gonna do is grab one from up here and put it down there. That's in the middle. I'm just trying to get a center point so I can go and put a window. That's all I was trying to do. Window, and then we're going to do 36. That's what he wanted. 36 by 60. And all that is correct. See, update. And I think it's just going to be a casement window. Yeah, casement. So we can just put it, let's see, no trim. Exterior trim, none. I don't know if he's gonna, that's weird now that I think about it. I need to ask him about this door and window trim and everything. Maybe that he's gonna, a lot of times we won't, well, you'll have trim, but it'll be stucco trim. It won't be wood trim, but it may be that I just need to show it, and then we can work out the details. So what I'll do is I'll go back and see, this will demonstrate how easy this is. You just go to Wall, Tools, Edit Opening, grab it, and then go back and turn your trim on. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it looks better, but I'm just saying, sometimes when you have stucco, some people won't like the wood trim. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe change its color. I'll put that texture on it and see how strange that looks. It probably is going to look strange. Either that, or I'll just point to it and say this is stucco. Yes, it's not wood. And then I'll do the same thing for the doors. Which I should have done in the first place. Yeah. I need to get a shortcut up here for edit opening. But it's easy enough. I mean, it looks better, but yes, and then one more. Would have been a lot easier if there had only been 2 garage doors. Huh? Wall, edit opening, trim, and we'll be ready for our roof. Yes. Update, close. There we go. I mean, I know it looks better. And then you can also, yeah, no, that's right. The door swings are right. You can also change the door swing. And you can see that it has the 2-dimensional labels. What I may do is talk to Nathan about, let's turn off everything for a second. And I'll show you. Oh, here we go. Wall 2D. I'm going to turn off the framing. And okay, so he's got the wall 2D up here. Okay, so let's just undo that, and we'll undo this. Yeah, I don't want to go into that too much, but you can set up his extension so that it creates its own 2D floor plan as you build. and which is handy because he's got the door labels here already. But I'm an old timer, and I'm from the school. We actually hand drew, on a drawing table. So I still like the old, the whole 2D the way I do them. You can see here the windows are even marked, and you can. That's where that custom label comes in handy. So if you have a wall type or a window type schedule, you can say type A or whatever. There you can change that. All right, so let's see if there's any comments. No, but it's okay. All right, so now we're going to do the roof, and this is going to be, get rid of that guideline. So now we've used the wall extension. I'm going to show you a little bit on the slab. It's just, not as exciting as this, but now I'm going to go do the truss. Okay, it says Medeek truss, but it's the whole floor, it's the whole roof assembly. So I'm going to pick truss. I'm just going to pick the standard, but you saw how many options you have there. And I'm going to pick this point right here. Let's see. Yeah, I want to pick this point. And I'm going to go over here because you want your trusses to be that. You want the heel of the truss to go out that far. You don't want it to be short for sure. Now, if you were doing a rafter roof system, you would pick the framing, okay? But since we're doing trusses, I'm going to pick the sheeting distance, which I know is actually the house line distance. Now, I believe this is a 412. I'm going to check it, but I can change it. And I think we're going to do 16-inch overhangs. Let's see. Let's do, yeah, that's good. And then this is correct. Yeah, okay. 42. You see 24. You see the building length? Because I went to the edge of the sheeting, and my sheeting is on the house line. It's the proper length, and that's why I did that. Gable studs, gable end trusses. Yeah, we want gable end trusses. Yes, that's your vertical, for nailing siding too. And you want advanced roof options. Yes. So then here you can set a lot of these parameters, and initially, and it'll save them. We do want to soffit. I'm gonna do a lot of this stuff after I get the roof up there because I want to see roof cladding. Yes, and we want to be. Yeah, I think that's right. I actually edited the one I want to use, so I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna say submit this, and yeah, because I wanted to see what this other roof was made of. So you can see that I need to go to the roof now and turn on all this stuff. Roof framing, roof sheeting, roof truss, and why is the wall? Oh, you know what it is? It's probably turned off. And is that the same pitch? I believe it's supposed to be a 512. Yeah. So I'm going to change. That's one thing about this. You can go in here and edit this. And I can say 5. Update that. You'll see it change. Yeah, I believe it's a 5. I'm going to double check that. But then we go to, for some reason, our here we go. Our gable wall cladding's turned off. And see here I can go, and I should be able to select that stucco. Oops. Stucco. Huh. I can select stucco on that, but I can't on the other one. That's strange. And then soffit, fascia, yes. All that's good. Soffit, yes. I don't know why all this stuff was turned off, but I will fix that. Box, I want this to be angle. Excuse me, angle. And update that. We should get a lot better picture now. Yep. And wall cladding, gable wall. Where's our wall sheeting? We should have gable wall sheeting. Wall cladding thickness, that's going to be at least a 1/2 inch. So that'll be that. Update. And here we go. I expected it to be down there by the siding. Gable wall sheeting, yes. Okay, that should help cover up our, yeah, I was going to say, you saw how you couldn't see, now you can't see the trusses. That's the way it should look. Yeah. So I knew something was turned off. Alright, say update. Close this. Now I'm going to go find, I think it's this. Yeah, I can go this one and find out which shingles. Charcoal gray, okay, because I edited that one. Let me grab this and go down and select charcoal gray, and that will fix, that'll make it look the same. Update. Yeah, you see I edited that one to be really light. Now you see how you can see, what I want to do is I'll fix this later, but I want this stucco to match here. Now you're looking at this and you're saying, I can see the trusses through. Yeah, so what you do is you set up your elevations, and it'll probably turn off when I do this because I have it already set up. So if I go back to that north elevation, you see how they disappear, but now you can just see the wall sheeting on the roof. Roof sheeting. That didn't help. Let's see. Let's go to wall. Turn off wall sheeting. It's already turned off. Wall cladding. I can't turn that off. Anyway, through controlling your layers, you can control. Oh, I need to get rid of that schematic stuff because it's showing through. You can see part of the old stuff is showing through. So let's get rid of let's turn off the roof for a second. And we'll see if we can't just grab this. I know what to do. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to move it out here 90 feet. You want to do that a given distance and remember it because I'm going to delete. Now that I'm done and the owner's happy, I'm going to delete this stuff. I should have set it up in layers. I should have set up this wall stuff in layers, and I didn't, so I'm kind of paying for my sins right now. But I'm just going to delete this to kind of solve it really quickly so I don't have to see it bleeding through. Oops, wrong. Let me get this where I can see. Now I can take this, move it back 90 feet, and then if I turn on that north elevation again, Yeah, you can see now. What I'm doing is I'm trying to show. Well, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna actually replace those walls too, but I just want to leave them that way for now. I just wanted to really give you a demonstration of how quickly you can turn out, some work, because literally I used to do all this stuff by hand, and I would still be drawing the walls right now. I would be nowhere near having doors and windows and textures showing. Now on this here, what you can do is you can go and to isolate that. I think that's either the wall. That's the wall sheeting. What you can do is turn off the roof cladding and go in here and figure out what this is. It is it's the stucco. Okay. So what you can do is turn this back on, and I think there's a setting for this. Wall cladding, wall vertical offset, horizontal vertical offset. I think if I go one, that's not going to do it, is it? No. Anyway, I'll mess with that. What I can do is, in the end when I'm done, and this is what you have to do sometimes. And let me turn off the soffit too, like that. You can go in and edit it. Get this. Make sure you're editing that. Yeah. And then get where you can see it properly, and then just grab it and pull it down, 2 inches or something. You see, then go do this one. And this is a little bit of a pain. There are, no extension is perfect, and I'm going to talk to Nathan about not having that. Let's see, we need to get that level so I can select it. Not having that, I'm trying to get that where I can select it all at once. Alright, don't want to be fussy. Really, that we don't install that. The wall cladding on the gable ends doesn't go up that far, right? We don't run it all the way up to the sheeting. But now I can, go. I've lowered it, and I can go back to my north elevation, and you see I don't see that anymore, and that's okay. You know, the thing, and it'll stay that way until if I have to change this roof, and like if I regenerate it, then it'll pop back up. But see, if I turn off the roof cladding now, and I turn on the trusses, you'll see the relationship. See, we don't run the wall cladding up. The wall cladding really only runs up to a little above the soffit. We don't run the wall cladding all the way up to the trusses like that. It's just not necessary. So that's on the wish list. North elevation. Okay, so now you can see how long have I been going? An hour. In an hour, I put the walls up, I put the doors in, the roof, the windows, and boom. Now I can go back to the customer and I can say, what do you think about this? Does that look kind of, just now it's all to scale, and he can evaluate it. He has some real life, dimensions and materials are there. And what I'll do is I'll go fix this. I'm going to go in and do this the same way I did this and put real windows and doors in, and go from there. I used to do it by hand from, yeah. Hey, Deborah. Yeah, I remember the first architecture office I worked in. This was in the early 90s, 92. Uh, yeah, we had a blueprint machine in our office, and it was in another room, thankfully, because and it was even vented, but you could smell the ammonia. There wasn't anything you could do when we were running the machine. You got that ammonia smell throughout the office, and we'd have to crack a window or something, even though the thing was vented. But it was awesome. Those were the days, man. The drawings looked awesome back then. They just were. You can't produce, drawings are so benign looking now. Back in the day, drawings were, blueprints were art. It's just, they were awesome. And that process of making the blueprints, you had to stick the vellum in, and, you had to, it was just, what I'm talking about. But, I mean, now what I do is, whenever with layout is the software that you use to produce your construction drawings. um, let's see if we can get it to come up here. Let me just pick a set. Let's see, what is this? This is I forgot what this is. Yeah, this is just a little addition that I did. We're getting ready to build. So I've got the plan and the site plan and the elevations all on one sheet. This is what's cool about, SketchUp and layout. I've got these views set up, you know, and this is all 124 by 36 inch sheet. And what I'll do is I'll just export this as a PDF and I send it to my printer, So I don't even have the overhead cost of even maintaining a printer, because plotters are very expensive just to maintain. I used to have a Hewlett Packard full size plotter and it was so expensive to maintain the ink, for it. It was an inkjet, and the paper is expensive. I had the big rolls, and the plotter would print the sheet and it would cut it off. It had a knife blade that would zip across, and the knife would go dull, and you'd have to it would make your drawings rag. It's just endless maintenance issues. So finally I was like, screw this, I'm gonna work at a deal with a local printer, and now I just send them. I go in an hour and pick them up, and boom, it's done. But I do miss the good old days of making your own blueprints. That was awesome. So there we go. That's that, and I'm gonna work some more on this. This may be getting too boring, but the nice thing about this is the Medeek extensions are, everything's based on real life. Nathan is an engineer. Okay, so turn off the roof cladding and turn the trusses back on. He's an engineer, so while he has disclaimers about these trusses, every single time I send my trusses to the truss manufacturer, he says, "Where did you get these drawings?" And I said, "Well, I used to hand draw my own trusses, and make components, so they would look like this." Of course, I'm being a contractor for 40 years. I'm familiar with how trusses are made. But it's so handy now, because what I do now is I'll just take one of Nathan's trusses out, and I'll set up a view, if I can get out of this. I'll set myself up a view like this, and I'll save it. Then I'll bring it into layout and dimension it and put the pitch and all that on it. And every time I send it to my truss manufacturer, he's like, "Wow, you did a good job on your truss drawings." And I'm like, "Well, I had, Nathan, I have this extension, you know, Nathan, it's automatic, you know." So, and in case you didn't see that part of it, the roof trusses are cool. The different options he's got, like the attic trusses. You you just select the width of the building and the length, and I'm just gonna hit OK on all this other stuff. What is that? Okay, blah blah blah. I probably since they're attic trusses, but you can see, yeah, okay, so that's a gable, yeah. You can see he's gone through the trouble of assuming he's got engineering built into it. He knew that the extension he built into the extension, the fact that based on a certain span, you would have to have a certain ceiling joist, right? That's probably a 2 by 10 or a 2 by 12. No, it's 2 by 10. It's 16 inches on center, 2 foot on center. Yeah, yeah. Depending on the roof load, you might have to go to 16 inches on center. So, but this is awesome because now this is pretty close. When you get your drawings back from your truss manufacturer, you're going to be, you're going to have a good idea already of what your. Let me get my blue axis going here. There we go. There we go. I was trying to lock it so I could measure. Now you're gonna know you're gonna have a 9 foot ceiling, 9 foot 1 1/8, which is literally what a standard wall height. It looks like that's how he's got that built in there. Now you're gonna have a room built in to your attic. So now if I was gonna have to, if I did this, from scratch, I could draw it, but I would have to go look at the span tables. And when you send this truss drawing to the manufacturer, they're going to re-engineer it, so they're going to verify it, but they're going to be impressed that you got it really close. Okay. So anyway, I can't brag enough on. Now you got to be careful because I'm going to show this. Even though I'm going to have to go in and refix something, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, if you edit this, and let's just say, well, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to regenerate it. If you edit it, it'll regenerate it. And so if I set up a viewport with that truss sticking out there, what I have to do is take it, I have to grab it. I actually have to copy it. I have to copy that truss. I have to go out of that assembly. Let's turn the roof cladding back on, and I have to paste it out here somewhere, And then that's what I should do. Set up a viewport, a view, a scene. In SketchUp, it's called a scene. You set up a scene looking at that truss, and then when you go into layout, you would set up a viewport looking into that scene. But you can see now, you can see the trusses again. This is not an extension thing. It's a SketchUp and your graphics card thing. So what I do is where you can see the trusses through the roofing. So what I do is when I set my scenes up, I turn off the roof trusses. You can see all these layers are turned off over here. But and then what I'll do is I'll go in and edit that. Or I may just undo back to that point, but just to get that wall sheeting, you can see this is the only thing about the roof. The only thing I see about the roof extension is this, where he has the wall material going up to the roof decking, and that's not accurate. We don't run it up that far. It only goes a little bit above the soffit. Right, just because of sequencing, because sequencing is, this soffit would already be on here. We frame up the roof, deck it, and and roof it, and then put the fascia and soffit on, and then the stucco guy comes and stuccos up to that. Okay, you don't run, or siding, whatever it is, lap siding, cedar shakes, they don't go up to the roof deck. Okay, they only go up to the soffit. But again, that's overcome by, once you're happy, go in and edit that, and it'll stay that way as long as you don't regenerate the roof. Hello, happy Easter, John Z. Less mechanical crap, yeah. Yeah, that's true. The old blueprint machines, they were machines. You had to maintain them. You had to have the chemicals. So while it was, the thing about it is, as we went along, those blueprint machines were the latest technology. So we were happy to have them. I don't know how much brain damage I got from smelling ammonia all those times, but I guess you'd have to be the judge of that. Okay, well, I think I'm going to end it here. I appreciate everybody. I've been going quite a while. Let's see how long. And if anybody can answer, I'm in my new tiny shack. If anybody can answer me, can you hear the air running right now? This loud. It's up there. AC. It's like a through-the-wall heat pump. It does heat and air. But it's kind of annoying on my end if you can't hear it. That's great. Maybe the microphone is good enough. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching, and check out Medeek, his extension sale. I've got a link in the description. Yes, but it's not bad. Okay, thanks, John. I've got a link in the description for Medeek extensions, and he's got wall, truss, roof truss, really the whole thing. Is it loud, Deborah? Does it drown out the other sound? Oh, I can show you the website right here. This is Nathan's. His name's Nathaniel. I call him Nathan. This is his YouTube channel, and it's under Nathaniel Wilkerson, and he's got all the different videos, mostly on the upgrades that he's done to the extension, and he's constantly update. I mean, he's really good at maintaining. As a matter of fact, he listens to user input. He's done several things. He's literally added, materials, and done that wall offset thing I was showing you. Those were requests from me to help me, So he really stays after it. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. He's an engineer, but he's a practical engineer. He's somebody that's actually, understands construction. And then here's his website. If you go to design.medeek.com, you'll see it starts out, he has drawings for sale, drawing packages, but if you just scroll down, you'll see the SketchUp extensions. So there's truss, foundation, wall. The electrical one I don't use that much because I usually don't have time to deal with the MEP side of things, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. But the electrical one is pretty cool. Because it does the two-dimensional and the 3D at the same time, and I've actually used it a couple times when I've had specific requests for it. So it's very useful. I just don't use it as much as the other three. I use the other three just about on every job I do, which is awesome. And here's the email he sent where he's got it's basically $20 to $25 off on each extension. And you'd think I think he has a package price for all these too. You think it's expensive, but when I think back, on the days when I used to literally, I would draw a rafter, by hand, or whatever, and make a component out of it, then turn it up and flip it up and put them on 16-inch centers and all that. I did that for years. You can go back and see some of my first SketchUp videos. But this literally, added a lot, to the ability of me to actually get some work done. So anyway, I'm just rambling now. So I will, Tony, if you're free after this, hop on Gizzard Gary's live. Oh, you're that John Z. John Z, I didn't realize that you were the same John Z. That's crazy. I'm going there. Have a great day. I will. Thanks for watching too. I didn't realize that you were that same John Z. That's awesome. So I'm gonna cut off now. I've been going for a long time, and yeah, the pins, yeah. Of course, we always used my my drafting pencils. We used to use the heavy. Was it number? I guess it was number 2. The heavy drafting pencils. I never used the pens, to be honest with you. The architect that I worked for back in the early '90s did use pens. He was brave enough, but I was never. And of course, normally, if you do the pens, we would do pencil first, and then they would go over. That's how you kind of got your line weights, is they would go over. Maybe the architect would sit there like an artist and, go over the drawings that we had. But I was too messy. I would have screwed up a whole drawing using a pen. Well, thanks, guys. I've been going for quite a while here, and I wanted to just feature Medeek's extensions, and I didn't want it to be too long because people will look at it and say, "Oh, I'm not watching that crap." So I will see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.